Have you ever walked into a room and felt like every single person stopped what they were doing just to stare at you? It's a crushing sensation. But we have to ask, is that spotlight a biological reality, or is it a psychological illusion we've manufactured ourselves? In 1980, psychologists decided to put this exact feeling to the test in a controlled lab environment. They wanted to see if the way we think the world sees us actually aligns with how people are behaving. To start, the researchers divided their subjects into two distinct groups. Group A served as the control. They were left exactly as they were. For Group B, the researchers brought in a makeup artist to draw a hyper-realistic, jagged scar across each subject's face. The subjects were shown their new faces in a mirror, ensuring they were fully aware of their altered appearance. The instructions were identical for everyone. Go out into the real world, interact with strangers, and report back on how you were treated. This created a perfect baseline to measure if a visible physical difference would actually trigger negative social interactions. Group A had a boring day. They went to shops, talked to strangers, and experienced the city as a perfectly neutral, polite place. Group B reported the opposite. They felt an immediate shift. They described baristas staring too long, pedestrians whispering behind their backs, and a pervasive sense of social hostility. During the nighttime interviews, Group A confirmed that their day was entirely uneventful, but Group B was deeply shaken. They were convinced that society had judged them harshly and discriminated against them solely because of their scars. On the surface, the experiment seemed to prove exactly what we fear, that any visible flaw makes us a target for public prejudice. But the data was incomplete. There was one hidden phase the subjects didn't mention, a final makeup retouch before they left the lab. Under the guise of adding a protective layer of powder, the scientists used that moment to secretly wipe the scars away entirely. Group B walked out into the world with perfectly normal faces. They just didn't know it. The cruelty, the whispering, and the judgment they experienced weren't reactions to a scar. They were phantom realities created by the subject's own expectations. Because they expected to be treated differently, their brains worked overtime to find evidence for it. They took neutral glances and common social friction and reinterpreted them as targeted attacks. This is projected insecurity. When we feel less than, like this red node, we project that expectation. We see our own fears reflected back. If we shift that internal view, the projection changes. That judgmental stare becomes just a person waiting for coffee. The experiment proves that the social world we experience is largely a construction of our own internal evaluation. We carry these phantom scars with us every day, worries about our background, our past mistakes, or our deep insecurities. We assume the world is constantly scanning us for these flaws, judging our every move against a standard of perfection. But the people around us are often just reacting to the energy we project. If you enter a room convinced you don't belong, you will find 100 reasons to prove yourself right. The real challenge is to recognize when we are defending ourselves against judgments that haven't actually happened. When we stop looking for the scar in the mirror, we finally give ourselves the chance to experience the world as it actually is, rather than as we fear it to be.
What lesson spoke to your heart today? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe for daily Bible wisdom.